So how long will it take? How long do you have to go before being detached from your thoughts will produce a spiritual experience, do you think?
Sometimes it can happen right there.
I don't think so.
Right?
No.
Okay.
I think you're just going for a very low grade experience. So how long do you think you have to be detached from your thoughts to have a spiritual experience?
Like an hour.
Yeah.
Hour?
Good
Okay.
hours. Or
A couple hours?
Couple
hours?
yeah. I mean, I think...
Anybody meditate for a couple hours and detach from your thoughts for a couple hours? No. You have?
yeah, well, not a couple hours, but meditated for a couple hours and had a really good... sense that I didn't have to. I was detached. It was obvious. It was just everything was quiet. And
Well, that's getting a little serious once you're willing to do that, right? So if you're willing to do that every time you sit and meditate, so either you just start to begin, and your thoughts come, and you're not going to attach yourself to any thoughts. Can you accomplish a meditation like that every day?
I think so. I mean,
Have you?
I
Do you?
haven't. No.
Okay.
I
So
think-
what I'm saying is, I'm just trying to get you the message that you're all accepting a really low possibility.
Yeah.
That if you really work at it, like say, accomplishing a task at the gym, or accomplishing a task at your house, that every day you set up a goal and you faithful to it, and you go towards that. Anybody approach meditation that way ever?
Spurts.
Spurts?
Yeah.
So whose meditation practice has actually gone through a lot of changes in which you get more and more successful at meditation? Because you do have to set it up that way. And why haven't you? Why haven't you worked at it like, oh, this is something that's part of my, like good diet, good sleep, whatever you do. This is part of good mental stability and also perhaps part of the spiritual journey that I'm on that I could find out more about. Because don't you want to experience what spiritual energy is?
Yes.
It's not just getting a little quiet and you feel a little open. It's not that. It's something much bigger than that. So how do you get there? And I always wondered why no one ever falls in love with meditation. People do all sorts of service and yogas and devotional chanting and pujas, but they don't actually do meditation with any serious impulse. With each day, you approach it to accomplish a certain thing. Then you keep approaching it to go the next level and the next level. And you find out what meditation is about. What is it about? It's about Dada. Yep. So what is meditation about? Why is it always considered the most important tool on the journey to waking up or self-realization or God realization? Why is it always considered the most important tool of all?
Because it's not the ego, it's the divine that I meditate on, focus on.
Yeah.
So it's letting it...
But who is that divine?
It's the...
Who are you focusing on? All I'm asking is to detach from your thoughts.
Yeah, well, releasing of ego, I guess. Any condition of ego.
Anybody else?
It's the most direct sacrifice.
Yeah.
Why would anybody want to meditate?
To know the true self.
Yeah. Well, that's what I mean.
True self.
So nobody really wants to do it unless there's a big value upon it, right? Something important about it. Because throughout the day, who detaches from their thoughts? Who just chases after the thoughts all day long? Mostly everybody chases after, right? So why would you want to detach from your thoughts unless you had a real important purpose for it, right?
Right.
Okay. And that would be your self-realization, right? So meditation is always seen as the main way to get to your self-realization. I think Yogananda tried to make a kind of more of a scientific approach to it, like you do this method and you do this and then you get there. Anybody ever?
Kriya Yoga?
Yeah, Kriya Yoga. Anybody involved with Yogananda's life or work at all? No?
No, it is. I read the stories. That's all.
Yeah, and different, I think teachers have approached it that way, that try to get the West interested in meditation, like here's the value of meditation. But meditation is really actually about self-realization. And so if everybody here's been meditating for years and years, and you cannot enter into thought-free states or detach from your thoughts as something you can do quite well, then you've never approached it seriously yet. Yeah, okay. How about you? You going to approach it seriously? Just looking at big sister. What do you think, big sister? This is big. Any questions about meditation? Is this surprising anybody, what I'm saying tonight?
No.
I don't talk about it very much, but I just had an impulse to talk about it tonight.
That sounds
Because
fun.
at any time, you can get serious about this and take it up as a deliberate practice and struggle with it. Or you might, who knows, you might succeed. When I took meditation seriously, I succeeded. I was able to not be attached to thoughts, to understand that thoughts are not your identity. Don't attach yourself to them. Don't create and manifest and create an experience out of them. And so when you don't chase after the thoughts, you're not chasing after what? Desires and experiences. So either you want to wake up or you want to dream more experiences. What's it a dream here? Such wonderful things, right? You could, let's say, get a job. So wonderful. Travel. Get more money. I don't know. Have a lot of fun emotionally, sexually with people. What else you can do here? Fame. How about ordinary dreaming, where you just dream ordinary stuff?
No.
Good spaghetti tonight? Or, good sauce? Good meatballs? I don't know.
Good sleep.
Good sleep?
shoes.
Yeah.
Favorite toy, new toy.
Yeah. So if people are not involved in meditation, they're not involved in self-realization, they're involved in dreaming their desires to manifesting them. And what if you had the dream to wake up? The desire to wake up? And then you would travel the path of meeting a teacher, and she or he could instruct you on the seriousness of meditation, how to meditate, keep meditating, right? So everybody's been meditating for a while, right?
Yes.
Did you ever wonder why you're not making any progress? Yeah. Oh, you did? Wow, Emily! Good for you. I do this every day. I'm getting nowhere.
Getting worse at this. Gee.
Every day I put $1 in the bank, but I only got $1. I don't get it, right? Yeah. Well, what are you going to have to do?
I was going to say, I have a question.
Sure.
I would consider myself sort of a novice
Okay.
meditating. I've done it my whole life, but it's something that I'm
Oh,
not as
you've done it your whole life.
It's
Yeah,
something my
wow.
parents introduced to me when I was a
Uh-huh.
kid, but it's not something that I've been as disciplined with. So for me, sometimes with my very busy mind, because we all have busy minds, something I'll focus on are colors. Or today I actually found myself starting to have a dance background, and so I started to kind of, as I'm stilling my mind, I started seeing movement.
Mhm.
Would you say that that's something that can be helpful or more harmful on your
I would say you're a very creative person, so you have a very creative mind, so you always want to be thinking creatively. That's what you enjoy.
Mhm.
It's not meditation, though,
Right,
but
right.
you enjoy it, so that's why you want to do it. So when you sit down and meditate, you're not saying, I want to wake up, I want to be self-realized, I want to be enlightened.
Mhm.
You sit down, because I don't know what your degree of possibility for your own enlightenment you feel you have in this life. Like, you feel like, I'm really going to wake up in this life, or I don't know, I'm going to have a lot of great experiences, do a lot of great creative stuff.
Mhm.
I don't know.
Mhm.
See? So if you have this really strong, overwhelming desire to wake up, then you won't be doing that at your meditation. But when people sit down or they go for a walk, and if you're a creative person, a lot of creative ideas will flow through you. And they're very interesting, and you might want to manifest some of them and enjoy them in your life. But that is not meditation, okay? So you've been doing it your whole life, and that's why you're not getting anywhere. You're doing something you like better.
Sure. I think for me it's not necessarily, I don't see it as a creative expression, it's more as something to focus on to then still my mind instead of letting my thoughts go. And so I'm starting to try to transition that to just observe the thoughts and detach from them.
Yeah. You can always notice your breathing, but the whole point of meditation is not to go with your thoughts. It's not to attach to thoughts.
Okay.
To notice what the mind is. Eventually you're going to understand what the mind is, what it's doing, what it's creating, and how it's creating your identity. Yeah. But it takes a while to get there. So.
Yeah, that's why I have to meditate with my eyes open. Because they're closed, the paintings will pop in my head and ideas for paintings.
Oh, painting, yeah.
Yeah.
So you get very creative, so another creative person, yeah. So. Well, I imagine other people are not creative. Maybe you're a healer type. You think of healing? Ideas for healing, or what you worked on with people, and how to do it better or enjoy it more or whatever. Yeah, those thoughts come to you. Yeah. The people about their jobs and I think when you sit down and you're not taking up deliberately the exercise of meditation, I think the mind wants to problem solve. Anything in your life that you're upset or disturbed by a bit. It wants to go over it and say, well, da-da-da, how can I do this? And go ahead and improve things for myself, and wants to problem solve. But that's not meditation. She's looking at you saying, da-da-da. Any more questions about meditation? I mean, because this year, if anybody wants to learn how to meditate better, I think 2018 is a good year for it. Anybody want to go for it?
Where does will come into play in judging willpower or not doing?
Willpower is always secondary to attraction. If you want to wake up, you'll want to sit and meditate. You will want to do the exercise of detaching from your thoughts. So willpower, I would say, is not very important. If it's very important if you don't acknowledge your attraction and how deep that is. You might say, I like to meditate just to calm down a bit, or I like to meditate to get my creative juices flowing again, right? But that's not the purpose of self-realization that you're meditating. But if you have a deep attraction to waking up, to enlightenment, then of course you're going to want to do it. So I don't think willpower...
It's really not willpower. If
it's
that's
never
really what it is.
Well, think of anything you like doing. Do you think it's really willpower for you to do it?
No. It's just I'm obsessed with it, and I don't want to stop it.
It's like attraction.
Attraction is the main thing. So, yes, exactly. If you feel like I'm very attracted to my awakening in this life, then you will feel, since it's always been said by all the great teachers, or not so great, or ordinary teachers, that meditation is an important part of this process, to detach yourself from your mind, from your thoughts, and your seeking for experience, for happiness and experience, to stay here present and allow the transmission. Because there's a literal transmission of spiritual energy you're going to feel as your meditation deepens. And that's going to be a journey that's going to be very exciting, and I wouldn't say difficult, but very exciting, that nobody hardly ever goes on. No one really experiences spiritual transmission, and no one hardly ever experiences... I think yogis are the ones that will talk about spiritual transmission and spiritual experiences, that those spiritual aspirants will talk about it, having certain kind of spiritual experiences, But, like I said, willpower is not that important in anything. When anybody talks about willpower, it just convinces me that the attraction's not strong enough. A lot of people are on the spiritual path, don't want to meditate, they want to do service, they want to do devotional love, with other aspects of it, but they They don't want to meditate.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're really getting ready to wake up, you will want to meditate.
Mm-hmm.
And you won't see it as willpower at all. You will just be ready.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's a direct link to understanding yourself as the source.
Mm-hmm.
And the spiritual transmission that begins to appear and be activated in your body shows the limits
Mm-hmm.
of all the knots in your body mind. It opens all of it up. So when your whole body is opened up to the spiritual transmission, the sense of separation from the divine, the sense of being a you
Mm-hmm.
trying to get to the divine begins to disappear.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what occurs. So you don't, like I said, spiritual willpower is just when you don't really want to.
Mm-hmm.
If you get really clear about what you want in this life, you lived a long time now, you're in your 40s, you've been through certain experiences, both fulfilling and difficult,
Mm-hmm.
and you come into the explanation and relationship of enlightenment.
Mm-hmm.
And so if your thirst for awakening is really growing based on, I've done this, been there, I understand that, I understand the condition of pleasure here,
Mm-hmm.
I understand the condition of suffering and sorrow
Mm-hmm.
and mortality. So I think I just want to wake up now,
Mm-hmm.
rather than just persist in engaging experience over and over again, trying to get fulfilled,
Mm-hmm.
you know. Once you get there, then meditation becomes very important. So most people are not real spiritual aspirants till they get to that point when they say they understand the nature of experience, the nature of seeking for happiness outside yourself through experience, understand mortality, they understand suffering.
Mm-hmm.
And that gives you this clear kind of message. It's time to wake up.
Mm-hmm.
You want to wake up now, right? Because, I don't know, some of you are really young here and all different ages, and life's kind of like a trance. You know what I mean? You're kind of like, wow, ooh, yay, yeah. Then you get older and you're like, ow, ooh, wow. Then you're like, oh, God, get me out of this, you know. But, yeah, life's like a trance. It's like all this beautiful life energy that you feel like you can spend and create a dream of happiness for yourself in.
Mm-hmm.
And it's based on, that life energy, that vitality you have. And as you get older, that vitality begins to disappear, and you begin to disappear. And when you begin to disappear, what's left? What's left? And that gets pretty scary to people. What's left? What's left, Pat? You're 77, right?
Mm-hmm.
What's left?
There's always love.
Yeah, no.
Always love.
But love, in most people's minds means you have to have another.
Mm-hmm.
Something to love or some other to love.
Mm-hmm.
What if you perfectly loved yourself? What would that be?
That'd be beautiful.
Yeah. What would happen to you if you did? That means you wouldn't agree with any thoughts you have ever
Mm-hmm.
about positive you or negative you. So we're back to meditation again, aren't we?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's always back to meditation. Not getting attached to positive thoughts or negative thoughts about who you are and what your experience is and how you're going to get fulfilled in the experience or how you're going to get hurt in that experience. So if you love yourself perfectly, you can meditate perfectly. Which comes first, loving yourself perfectly or meditating perfectly? I don't know. Well, for me, I was more of a discriminating type personality.
Mm-hmm.
So I wouldn't say love was the main impulse for me. So I would say that I really wanted to wake up because there was nothing that people were doing here or that I could do here that had any fulfillment in it. And I'd done everything like everybody else does, I had a family and kids and seen a lot of beautiful places and, same thing. It's available to everybody else. It's available to me, so. But why did I want to wake up? Guess I wasn't impressed with any of it. I was like, okay. Okay. Oh, look, you're getting tired now. I love it. Oh. So this year could be the year of meditation. Want it to be the year of meditation?
Yeah.
Yes.
Like
All right.
Yes.
Awesome. I love meditation. I've always loved meditation, but I never get to teach it. And I think in the last couple of weeks, I just look at different sites of what other teachers are doing, and I think meditation is really fallen out of the spiritual realm, of the experience. It's all sort of like how to be,
Self-actualized.
well, yeah, how to live here the happiest way possible,
Yeah,
and make your experience work out for you, but there's nothing about meditation and the spiritual process of meditation anymore. I don't know if it's become extremely unpopular. Could be. But I think anybody want to work on meditation this year?
Yes.
Even Alia? How about you? Want to work on meditation? All right. So instead of working on examining life, what we do a lot of, and your own seeking in it, trying to get happy and trying to understand the nature of suffering, the nature of your mortality, we could study meditation this year. We studied a lot of things over the years. Let's study willpower. Let's see where. I don't even know what that is.
Yeah.
I think it's
Yeah.
a made-up human thing.
Well, it seems like a judgment on everything. And it's like, I just want to plow through everything.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't-
Plow through everything.
Because I don't want to accept where I'm at.
Yeah.
Force yourself.
Yeah.
You ever force yourself to do anything through
No.
willpower?
It's hard to say. Was
Well-
it willpower or was it just,
You had to do it
was the
anyway.
attraction?
Well,
Yeah.
maybe willpower has to do with everything in life you don't really want to do, but you have to.
Yeah. Well,
Like get a job or pay your
Yeah.
taxes
Yeah.
Or if
or lose 10 pounds.
when you get that real sweet energy of being engaged with whatever you're doing, you think that's going to apply to those other things, and it
Yeah.
doesn't. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm balancing my checkbook. Gonna get through it, and you know.
Yeah. Willpower is kind of a funny word, yeah.
Yeah.
It almost seems like an aggressive version of asserting your intellect or something
Yeah.
over
Yeah.
against, what you really want to do or you're feeling, right? It's like, I'll assert this over what I'm feeling.
Yeah.
I'm feeling I don't want to.
Yeah.
That's why, if you love the possibility of your own enlightenment,
Mhm.
you're dreaming your life. Why not you dream your enlightenment?
Mhm.
So instead of dreaming your life, so you're all different ages. So this is what you dreamed so far. How do you like it? Is it pretty good? You like your life?
Mhm.
Yes.
Okay, so you're dreaming pretty good. So, what would it be like to dream your enlightenment instead? Instead of thinking about the next desire you want to do, I want to go back to school and I want to,
Yeah.
get a job that I can make $100,000 a year or whatever. What if you stopped that? Said, I'm going to dream my enlightenment now.
Mhm.
And then, of course, one of the tools would be meditation for that. Of course, you get more serious about meditation, get more serious about having real results with meditation. And the thing about meditation is, once you really take up the journey and you know why you're doing it,
Mhm.
why it has value to you, it's a very beautiful journey and it's very exciting. So if you think of anything else you can dream and how exciting that is for you, but now you kind of outgrown it,
Yeah.
Yeah. And you go, well, I think I'll start dreaming my awakening now. And you begin a serious practice with meditation. And so the rest of your life is whatever I'm doing in my life, does that serve meditation? Does that make my meditation go deeper? Or is that working against it the same way you would act like, I want to be a star athlete? So you would have to ask all sorts of questions. If eating a hot fudge sundae going to help this? Not exercising today, is that going to help it?
Mhm.
And you ask all those questions and you keep discriminating.
Mhm.
So you can keep moving towards being an athlete. But if you want to dream your awakening, then meditation is the primary tool for that. So you would have to keep asking questions about that.
Yeah.
And you would be attracted to it. It'd be fun.
Yeah.
The same way you sit and plan like your next painting, like, oh, what could it be?
Yeah.
Da-da-da, or your dance or your song,
Mhm.
and you want to think about it and it's fun and you want to do it and you set up your experience to set up your life where you have that space to always do it, because I know everybody has to do things to sustain your body. You know, the things you have to do. You know, you have to make money, support yourself. You have to eat, and certain things you have to do every day. But with the time that you don't have to put in sustainability, instead of putting it into dreaming all these things that you want to enjoy in your life and get fulfilled by, you say, I want to dream my enlightenment now. So instead of using that energy to go out and dream, now you're going to stay put and dream your enlightenment. And that was my sadhana. So whatever life brought me was always a test. You know, it was always a test. Are you going to chase after that? Are you going to get distracted or disturbed or hopefully get made happy for a little while by this? Or are you going to stay and do what serves your meditation? And that was the question. And I loved meditation. And so every time I sat in meditation, I would sit and actually do it from the point of view it's going to succeed. So each meditation didn't just have like a nice feeling where I got a little quiet. It actually began to go deep and begin to percolate. And the spiritual transmission begin to become very active. And once that becomes active, all the work of meditation, like you're really intensely involved in the work of meditation now, in the work of dreaming your enlightenment. You know, all sorts of teachers and spiritual adventures will happen along the way. All sorts of teachers will show up and give you a push and a help, you know. And the test is always, you know, like the story of Buddha sitting under the tree and Mara the demon comes to him and, you know, of course it's like all these great hot women come by. You know, I didn't have that. but he just kept, you know, stayed meditating. He didn't run after it or get all excited about it or believe it or want it. So, because he wanted to dream his enlightenment. He could have said, hey, this is really fun. I'm going to go into this dream and have this experience this dream. But he knew what meditation was about. And meditation, Buddha taught the path of meditation. All the monks came and they meditated every day. They went and begged for their food, came back, meditated some more, you know. And that was their life. They didn't have another life. They didn't do anything else. They just meditated. Can you imagine that? Emily's like, no, I have to socialize. I can't sit that long. Well, you can do it while you're walking. You can do it while you're sitting. You can do it while you're standing. You can do it while you're sitting on the toilet. You can do it while you're taking a bath. You can do it everywhere. You can do it while you're in a busy restaurant. So I've had that experience, bursting into gold light in a restaurant. I don't know what other people saw, but oh, okay. So, but no one goes on this journey. So if this is a year you want to begin this journey, you want to wake up instead of dreaming. You know, I know you like your lives and you feel your life's good, but there's still one thing that's going to happen. You're going to this life's going to disappear and you're going to die. So what then? Just because you die and disappear doesn't mean you're enlightened. What's the difference between dying consciously and just dying as a person?
Freedom.
Yeah. Conscious death means you're done with experience. So you're just the light now. And you just radiate light. You're not a personal one anymore. You don't have to appear as a personal one anymore. So if you're ready for that big jump from just being a person that goes about trying to have some good experiences and a good life, just being directly the source of all life, of being the light itself, and not needing a body-mind at all, not identified with experience at all as the means to be, then you're enlightened. And that's the journey. So I don't know how many people are actually really attracted to that on this planet. Well, because this is the planet where we're, you know, working our sustainability and our happiness by suppressing other people and taking other people's stuff and resources and creating genocide on masses of people so we can have more stuff. And it's kind of a greedy, selfish place, you know, where it's not a cooperative, loving place where everyone, you know, everything's about profit and getting on the top instead of like, here we get all this wonderful stuff here, let's all share it. Let's all be cooperative. It's not a Well, I would say the true feminine energy is expressed here at all. It's all the, the lower male ego dominating through aggression to get what you want. Any other questions about meditation? No. Anybody want to meditate?
Exciting.
Yeah. Anybody want to get self-realized? Oh. The only real goal in any life is to wake up. So any dream you ever been in a dream? What if you said, I'm going to wake up instead of continuing to dream the dream? But see, there's a tricky thing that happens. Once you realize you're dreaming, you go, oh, I can do whatever I want.
Yeah.
I can fly now. I can do this. I can do that. And you can, once you realize that. So it's a little tricky. You start getting those powers in there. The power to, it is. It's very tricky at that point. What was your question, Jerry?
I kind of wanted to ask you a question about, well, I know you said that when you have like a true meditation experience that it's actually not like this real feel-good thing. It could be like actually really kind of terrifying, in a sense that, feels like something's gonna happen kind of, and,
When you're doing something you really like and you want to do it, how you feel while you're doing it really matter that much?
you're just kind of in the middle of doing it.
Yeah. So the more you're doing something, truly, the less you're noticing or attached to any kind of what's happening with it. Side effects, I would say. It doesn't really matter what's going on. So, is real meditation terrifying? Well, you get to, once you begin to detach from your thoughts are going to try to go after you.
Yeah.
Because they want you to stay as a personal self. So you're going to have to experience the death of your personal self. That's when the terror comes, when you experience the death. But if you practice detached meditation, you can experience the death of your personal self and be sitting in a complete pile of terror. And just, it's another experience to you. Yeah.
But I mean,
So it sounds remarkable to have that much power, right? Most people that face a little fear, they go running, right? So that's what the power that meditation builds for you, if you do it.
But I mean, isn't it? It's not just like deep meditation. It's not just detachment of the mind. It's detachment of the body too, isn't it? 'Cause it's like
Well, the body's just sitting there. It's not doing anything.
Yeah.
So is the body and the mind separate?
No.
No. So have you had spiritual experiences?
I felt like I've had some. Yeah.
Well, when people do music or they listen to music or do art or go in nature, whatever they really like and passionate about, they start to feel a oneness. And they feel their thoughts are not disturbing them, their emotions, there's no anxiety, they just feel like, they feel good. And that's how babies always feel, and they just feel high in the vital energy of life, just feel good. And there's no, and then you say, oh, I feel this good because it's the art. Art makes me feel, but it's not the art. It's not the music. It's you just feeling yourself as you naturally are without any obstruction. With meditation, you get to feel yourself as you are without even a personal self. So you all think, oh, I'm this person, I have these ideas, and that makes me who I am, or I feel this way, that makes me who I am, or look this way, that makes me who I am. And there's this all those things, the feeling, the ideas, how you look, how your body is. All those things just create this big separation from everything and everyone. And then you're trying to get happiness through some kind of union, with some kind of good feeling through whatever you like. And that's the search for happiness. But meditation gets right at the whole drive of all that. It goes right to, you're not that. Practice not being that. Start dreaming your freedom from that. But most people don't want to be free from it. They want to be bound by it. They want to be bound by their bodies. They want to be bound by their ideas. They want to be bound by their feelings. But a funny thing happens in life. You start disappearing as you get older. No one tells you about old age, right? So there's some older people here. but you do start disappearing. And it's almost like this terrible unconscious meditation is going on because you're scared of it, aren't you? I'm disappearing. I can't use my body like I can. I can't use my mind like I can. I can't feel and use my feelings like I did before. I'm losing myself. Did anybody experience somebody they love dying and go through a kind of coming out of life? And did you see them losing everything? Yeah. What is that like? Well, that's unconscious meditation. A conscious meditation is when you become powerful enough and strong enough to let all sense of your personal self disappear, so you actually have not just the union with the source or the sacred, but you actually are the source. That's what you realize. So it's a difference, a conscious meditation. Life will give you an unconscious meditation, where you come into life, you want to gather everything, you want to succeed, you want to be happy, you want to be fulfilled. And at a certain point, what's the age when it feels like it's starting to disappear? 50s or?
Yeah,
Around
55, 60.
Yeah, menopause time, it starts to feel like it's disappearing. Oh, if you were a really beautiful woman, now you know, like, oh, no one's looking at me. They're looking at the younger women. No one looks at me. And then you get all kind of upset and shaken up. If you're an intellectual type, you notice that you can't think the way you used to think. You can't hold thoughts. You can't take knowledge and study it and retain it anymore very well. And you go, oh no, I'm getting stupider. That's terrible. It's horrible. I'm losing myself. So life is a disappearing act. It's an unconscious meditation. Instead to humble you into wanting to have the conscious meditation of who you are. So while your personal self disappears, because that's inevitable, and that's nature, right? At some point, it might shake you up enough to say, oh, what's the conscious meditation? Who's the true self? And then a lot of people get religious at that time, I think, but they don't do this real spiritual work. They get religious, they want to believe in God. Why do people want to believe in God?
It's still an unconscious
Fear.
Fear.
Yeah.
And what are they afraid of?
Disappearing.
Disappearing.
That's something someone should
Yeah,
save
people
them.
want to feel like once you die or you disappear, there's either your relatives or some spiritual figure that you believe in is going to be there on the other side, waiting you and helping you. But a real spiritual figure is going to say, you ready to do the work of conscious meditation now? That's all you're ever going to get from a really enlightened person. And like I said, eventually everyone has to become enlightened. No one gets out of it. So no matter how happy you are about being here and trying to get fulfilled, and then how disappointed you are that you are disappearing, and that everything you loved and worked so hard at, you're going to die and it's going to disappear. Then you get that shock. It's like overwhelming, shock.
Yeah.
So either that can sober you up to want to ask the real questions and find out the real answers and take up the life of self-realization. And self-realization is not like you're a monk and you go someplace else, you live in a monastery. It's wherever your life is. That's where you do it. You're at your break at your job, return attention. Don't chase your thoughts. So if the motive in you is really strong to want to check out life and get fulfilled and check out experience, and you say, well, there's something good about meditation, something good about self-realization, but I'm not ready for that work. That's fine, because you're going to get there someday. Everybody has to get there, because we all started off as separate. We're all going towards being truly ourselves. And what is truly ourselves? Look, I don't know if anybody believes in reincarnation, so if you believe in it, then you have a lot of different bodies, a lot of different relationships, a lot of different experiences, right? And so there might be a certain point you're tired of it. Why do I have to keep doing this? You might just say that about the life you're in right now, like getting up and going to work tomorrow. Like, oh, why do I have to keep doing this? Right? Well, you're old. You feel that about your job?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And why do you have to keep doing it? What's the answer?
I haven't gone deeper into the practice of meditation yet.
And you have to sustain yourself, right? Or I don't know. You have to figure out how to sustain yourself till you don't, right?
Yeah.
So for most people, when you retire, you get some money put away, or you get whatever the government or your job you put in gives you, and then you live out your years. Why don't all older people want to meditate and wake up? Seems like a perfect time, right?
Yeah.
You know you're disappearing anyways. Would you rather do it consciously or unconsciously?
Consciously, yeah.
Any other? Oh, look at you. Anybody want to say anything ask anything about meditation, or want to say anything? Or?
I just have a small question.
This small? Small?
I was thinking about this today. Why do you think it was so important for Adida to describe the process as an ordeal rather than the way you describe it, which is exciting and fun? I don't know if that's an answer.
You want serious people, and I don't want serious people. I don't know. Maybe you just saw things that way. I don't know. I mean, I struggled. I mean, I thought this. I think he thought his own journey and, the part that, was his sadhana, I think he thought it was very exciting period in his life. I thought mine, the most enjoyable part of my life was sadhana and then teaching. And so I'm trying to make teaching as enjoyable or more enjoyable now that I've been doing it for a long time, get good at it. So I think he's just referring to that life is an ordeal, really. Yeah. I don't know if he was really referring to the self-realization process as an ordeal or life in general, but do you think it's hard?
I don't think it's hard.
You don't think it's hard?
No,
you don't think it's an ordeal?
I don't think it's an ordeal. I think it's just very kind of elusive just because it's easy to fool yourself.
Yeah, that's why having a teacher is really helpful, one that's awake, because she won't let you fool yourself. Or that's what I said when I was looking at the net, and I said, gee, the internet, I said, these people are never talking about self-realization anymore. They're not talking about enlightenment. They're not talking about the meditation process as the main tool of that work. Nobody's talking about it anymore. It seems like everybody's just trying to be psychologically adjusted in a happier way that, like people when they feel one with music or one with nature feel, that kind of good feeling about things. If you can pull that off, you've done something, it's really spiritual.
That's, I mean, it's so easy to fool yourself that way,
Well, every life you go through, everybody goes through the same life. And when you're younger, you seem like, wow, there's so much you can do. It seems so incredible. And when you get older, everybody's like, you have a family or you don't, right? You have to sustain yourself unless you're rich, right? It's all the same options over and over again. So it's all the same movies. Just because you can't say, well, I like to see a movie about angels flying upside down and then taking children to the astral realm.
Right. Good luck with that one.
You can't just make up stuff and it's going to appear for you, So either you work at creating it yourself, or maybe somebody eventually will have the same idea you had and create it. So you just go about life and you find out that it's not all that different for anybody. Similar. And everybody's problems is similar too, right? Getting along with your boyfriend or girlfriend or your kids, liking your job and not liking your job, trying to improve your status, trying to be more successful, It's the same problems everybody has, and they're working on it. And I don't know, I think you can almost meet anybody, have a real in-depth conversation with them, meet them in 5 years, and they're still working at the same thing, still being upset about the same thing, still trying to get fulfilled by the same thing. And it's not really progressed to, there's an answer to any of that. That you arrive, and then you get to 55 or 50 and you start disappearing. So hopefully you get all that. There's one book I read, Lars Moll. And he went to his teacher and he said, well, why did I have to go through all that? He was like a rock star in his country and a writer and a singer and musician. So why did I have to go through all that? And he said, well, you know, you did what you wanted and what you needed to do, so you would be now strong enough to choose this, to choose dreaming your enlightenment, you know? Yeah.
That makes sense. That's a great explanation.
Yeah. So he did. He got strong. He understood things quickly and had experiences quickly because of that. So, what? Gotcha.
Is when you're in regarding meditation, when you're at the gateway of the fear, or when you're in the fear, but you're not afraid.
Well, you haven't even got past the beginner meditation yet.
Yeah. Well,
So you're going to have the personal power
Mm.
to be able to be detached from your fear.
Is that conductivity? Is that what that is? That's what
Well,
was gonna
I don't
ask.
know what you mean by conductivity
Well,
itself.
Adidas said that.
Well, see, a lot of people have a lot of ideas about what Adidas says, but you're not actually experiencing what you're experiencing with any real knowledge about it. So where you're at, what do you really understand and can own? Is that I really got this down. I really understand this. So let you create your own awakening. What you're going to awaken to, you don't create. But you're creating your own awakening, because unenlightenment is not a real state. There only is the light. There only is enlightenment. So you're living in an illusion and a delusion. So you're going to create better delusions. So you take the thorn to get the thorn out. You're creating better illusions, so you don't need it. You don't need illusion
I don't
anymore.
have to wait around for the
No,
fear
no,
to
you-
suddenly pop up.
No,
and,
I
that's
don't know
the
what
fear.
you're afraid of. You've been afraid.
Yeah, it seems like it's
Everybody's-
always going on.
Everybody's been afraid. The fear that there is no separate one. When you're ready to experience that, you won't. You know, you'll have all the personal power to deal with it. You won't be.
Just like Lars Moll, like you were saying.
Yeah,
you were
you'll
just
be ready.
to dream that.
Yeah, you'll be ready. Nothing's going to happen to you on the spiritual path that you're not ready for, that you don't want. You're dreaming it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, in my spiritual sadhana, I dreamed all my help and support and love from Adida and other teachers I had, and other teachers that weren't even alive came and helped me. So.
Were you consciously dreaming that, or did that just kind of happen as you moved?
Everything happens spontaneously, consciously, if you're what? Not chasing after your thoughts. If you chase after your thoughts, then you're unconsciously participating in life. But Pat, you always want to chase after your thoughts.
I know.
You think your thoughts are you, don't you? Yeah. Well, do you ever experience not remembering something
Yes.
and being frustrated?
Yes.
So who are you when you don't remember something?
I'm still there.
Yeah. Do you have to have a thought to give you the information of who you are?
Not really.
Well, see, if you know that's really true, if that's really your understanding, stand by it. Instead of as soon as you start chasing after thoughts because you have this idea, I have to have a thought so I know who I am, which is your real understanding. I have to have thoughts so I know who I am, or if I don't have one, I know who I am. Which one is really your understanding?
When I'm talking with you, that becomes real to me.
Yeah, but that's my power. Is that your power to hold by that understanding? I don't know. That's your question.
Yeah.
So when she says it, it seems obviously true. So when I say it to myself, is it obviously true without her saying it? I don't know. Only you can answer that for yourself. So when you go out of the room tonight,
Yes.
you can ask yourself that.
Yes.
So don't mistake that my clarity of knowing who I am and knowing who you are too makes you clear about knowing who you are.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just because I know who I am and I know who you are doesn't mean you do.
I understand.
Okay. And so a lot of people around teachers count on that. They count on that their teacher knows who they are, and so therefore they know who they are. But it doesn't mean they do, because they won't stick up for it. You won't consciously dream it. You won't hold yourself to it. If you have to use words like willpower, you know. No, because if you understand something, you never use the word willpower.
No.
I understand if I, eat that piece of shit on the ground, I'm going to get really sick. But I have to use willpower not to do it. Okay, hold on to my willpower. When you know something, you know it. You don't have to have willpower at that point. Yeah. So willpower is, you're kind of in between, right? I kind of know it, or do I know it? I'm not sure. But once you feel you know something, you have to have conviction. You have to stand up for it. You have to stand up for it for yourself. It doesn't matter for other people. You got to stand up for it. When I was doing my sadhana, I had 2 kids. And I told them I meditate from da-da-da time, so take care of each other and don't bother me. And they were like Buddha and Mara. Mara would show up and send all the demons of child psychology at me. Oh, come on, Mom, he's killing me. You gotta help me. Every trick in the book. I didn't need Mara to show up with beautiful maidens. I just needed my 2 kids outside the door. That was it. So for any householder, you think you can't wake up, well, here it is. See?
Ellie's doing it. No, Jerry.
The teacher doesn't do it for you. The teacher is it. So the teacher is, this really is true, this self-realization crap. I like it. It makes sense. And trying to get fulfilled in this life through experience doesn't make sense. When people say, you got to look within to find happiness? Yeah, you do. But what's in there? You got to find out. There's a whole bunch of crappy thoughts, a whole bunch of dramatic feelings, a whole bunch of gas. I don't know. You got to find out what's in there. But having known or have a friendship with someone who's awake, they give you all these great clues. They give you the roadmap, how to get there. They keep steering you in the right direction. So that's what you get. So is it a gift? Enlightenment? No.
It's natural.
It's you dreaming it. It's natural. Is something that's truly only really the case, except no one can see it because they got the wrong glasses on. So is that thing still there? When you put the right, if you have the wrong glasses, yeah, it's still there. You're just not seeing it correctly. So that's why teachers come. They want to show it to you correctly, so you can see it. But your love for enlightenment is what moves you, and you stand up for it. So if your mind says, oh, don't meditate, you detach from your thoughts, why don't you think about watching that show? So where's your understanding? Where's the power of your understanding? Where's your conviction? And everybody's had to struggle with conviction, right? And all sorts of things. You wanted something really bad, and you did what it took to get it, right? That's conviction.
That's a better word.
Yeah.
Conviction.
Then what?
Then willpower.
Yeah, conviction. If you love something, you will be convicted of it. So if people say, why do you want to get enlightened? That's stupid. Nobody gets enlightened. Why do you want to be like a sage or Buddha for? Why don't you just be a nice housewife?
That's terrible.
That'd be nice. Well, you can be whatever you want. No one can tell you that. So, do you want to be a housewife and be enlightened? Well, get enlightened first, and then you'll find out about the housewife stuff. Do the best first, and then whatever is still happening after you get there, it's still happening. Yeah? Okay. Any other questions? Or any other statements? Or
Very helpful.
helpful?
Yes, very
Helpful? Okay. All right, so it's a very incredible journey. I really want to tell you it's an incredible journey, the journey of dreaming your enlightenment and true meditation. It's an incredible, wonderful journey. And it doesn't compare to anything you can do in this life. It's really exciting. But you have to really want it and be convicted of it and not be distracted by experience anymore. And as we all know, I don't know, I don't think old people talk about what they know about life enough to people.
Yeah.
Like you look back and you say, well, dairy, This is how it is. You're going to get here, so what are you doing? What do you want? Because if you get clearer about what you want when you're younger and just go get it, you might get, onto your enlightenment faster. Because once you get something that you wanted, is it that interesting anymore?
You see that?
Yeah. Yeah. So if you got to be, making a great living doing music, would that remain exciting?
Ordinary life.
You just be your life now. Yeah. So if you wanted to have 5 kids, you got it. Well, I imagine people still have some kind of dream of what you want here, right? Or you want anything? Or I know you want your car.
Car.
16, yeah.
Main thing right now.
Main thing is the car, Santosha. Okay. It's kind of hot in here tonight. I don't know what's the deal with that. Yeah. Maybe it's just more body heat.
Meditation.
Meditation. So, if I feel like there's any excitement going on with meditation this year, I'll come and have serious meditations with you. With no crying baby. Yeah. We love you here.
Look at her.
I know
One
she's
more
doing
question.
it.
Can I ask one
Yeah.
more question?
Yeah.
This might be a silly one, but what is there a difference between doing japa and meditating? Is there a difference? I know that you say the name, but sometimes
Well, mostly japa is walking meditation, or when you're engaged in activity, like you're doing the dishes or walking. Yeah.
okay.
And you can do it at times when you do get attached to your thoughts again. Do japa, bring it back, and then just be present, not attached to your thoughts.
Okay.
See, it's all tools.
Yeah. Okay.
Mayor Baba, he said, that he did japa of his own name. So when he was involved in the activity, he did japa of his own name.
Interesting.
So, I still do japa vadida, and sometimes other teachers ask me to do japa of their name, and I'll do it. And other teachers, I might feel attracted to do it, so I'll do it. Because what's thoughts?
Yeah.
Either they should be extremely positive all the time, or put away. Because most of your thoughts are about your self-doubt and your lack of self-love, right? Yeah. And your lack of being fulfilled. Your frustration with others and experience, yeah. And you think about it. But the only way out to fulfill anything is really enlightenment and real meditation process. So. That wasn't bad. Isn't that silly a question?
Well, sometimes I think, am I doing it? Well, it wasn't the word, but I do feel you, but I didn't say your name, so say your name. Are you satisfied? Yes. It's
Well, I think you're splitting hairs because you're not going deeper.
Yeah.
Like you're an artist and there's all the colors and you're just still working on red, and different shades of red. And if you kept working through all of it, then more understanding and more conviction would be. If meditation, for me, meditation was going on all the time. So it was going on in dreams, it was going on while I was walking around, while I was doing my duties, handling my obligations, while I was sitting formally. It was always going on. So I was always noticing and being in meditation rather than trying to do it. So once you get to that level, you're past the beginner level. You're going to the intermediate advanced level. So there's all different stages of it that obviously. It's funny, having the most personal power is when there's less sense of your own self. Because you're really just this big ball of energy and light, and that's all you are. You're not a fixed personal self. You only feel like yourself because you have ideas about yourself, and you keep reinforcing those ideas. That's who I am, that's who I am, that's who I am. But if you couldn't think those thoughts and form those thoughts, what are you? Big ball of energy and light, yeah. So once you get advanced, you begin to experience meditation. It's always happening. So you come into a room and you feel yourself as energy. You feel the room as energy. You sit there and you see white light and gold light, and you have all these kind of experiences all the time.
Mm-hmm.
In the sense of a personal self, doesn't quite exist in that kind of transmission of energy and light. It doesn't exist. So that's more advanced stage. That's when you're getting closer to enlightenment. And you experience it all the time like that.
Okay.
All right. So no other questions? Or is this helpful? And,
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
that was helpful too.
So, you guys been around a long time, and like I said, there's no place to go but eventually get this, so don't give up. Keep going, get up again, and make sense out of life. Now, all these people older are disappearing more than they're appearing. You're not coming here to, like, get it and do it. You're like, oh, I'm starting to leave it behind. Yeah. So you can do that as a conscious process of your meditation or as an unconscious process of being mad and upset about it. Everybody ever lives, died. There's more dead stuff than there's ever living stuff. So why do you make sense of it? Dead stuff, that you're going to die. The spiritual process is a conscious disappearance of everything that you came here to have and be and do and be fulfilled by. But you're consciously participating in it. You're convicted that, like they say, it's inside you. The real truth of who you are is inside you. So meditation is that inward journey. And as you go deeper and deeper into it, it doesn't seem to be an inside and outside anymore. Because that's a sense of separation, duality. Yeah. But it's definitely a journey of not participating in everything like you're desperately trying to get made happy by it anymore. You're not doing that anymore. All right. Well, it's good seeing you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, Clark.